Okay, what is going on, people? Welcome to another video. In this video, what we're going to do is go through this LinkedIn and email networking guide, which you can access for free using the first link in the video description. And essentially, it's going to be useful for you if you're a student, graduate, anyone who is looking to reach out to people, professionals in the industry on LinkedIn, or looking to do cold outreach via email. And look, as you can see here, there's tons of stuff that we're going to go through. Some of the topics, let me move myself here. Some of the topics covered in this guide include LinkedIn outreach templates, so actual draft messages that you can send to people, email outreach templates, 12-week relationship building plan. So oftentimes people reach out to professionals on LinkedIn, they get one coffee catch up with them and that's it. You need to do more than that. You need to think of a 12-week framework or a plan how to nurture that relationship. Questions and goals for each interaction, how to get the next meeting and maintain engagement, how to send 100+ LinkedIn messages on a free account. Because obviously right now, if you try to reach out to people, you're quite limited. So I'll talk you through how to do that. And then final thoughts. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. All right. Introduction and goal. So building strong professional relationships dramatically improves your chances of breaking into competitive industries like banking and finance. This guide provides LinkedIn and email outreach templates, a structured 12-week relationship building plan, key questions and goals for each interaction, strategies to ensure you always have the next step lined up, and a lot more. It will require a lot of work on your part. So a lot of people think, honestly, I think tons of people will see this guide, tons of people will go through it, but a fraction, maybe less than 2% of those individuals that go through it will actually act upon it. And if you don't act upon it, nothing's going to happen. So it's really and truly up to you. If you are able to stay disciplined and consistent with your outreach, then you will reap the rewards over the course of the long run. So what I would suggest to you is aim to reach out to at least 20 people on LinkedIn each week. That might seem like a lot, especially if you've been reaching out to no one right now. However, there's people out there reaching out to 40, 50 people plus each week. So it's a numbers game. The more, I always use this concept. If you give me a dart and I throw it at a dartboard, I probably won't hit the bullseye. If you give me 100 darts, a couple of them will hit bullseye. The more you do, the more shots on target you do, the more goals you're going to score. So try and reach out to 20 people. You'll likely get responses from 1 to 3 people. So most people won't respond. Most people blank you, ignore you. So don't get disheartened if you get rejected. But be sure to follow up and aim for around 80 to 100 people outbound messages each month. Is the mic on? Yeah, it is. Cool. These numbers might seem excessive and scare you right now, but once you start to realize it doesn't take a lot of time. Once you start, you'll realize it doesn't take a lot of time. Yeah. You'll also get quickly over the fact that DMing, emailing people isn't as daunting as you once thought it was. The potential rewards, network and opportunities that can come from this. Imagine you reach out to people, network, build relationships, and then you land offers. You break into the industry like that. That's how a lot of people break in, networking. They build those relationships, keep them warm, get them to suggest them to HR or review their applications, and then before you know it, you've made it 10 times easier to break into the industry. So yeah, the potential rewards from this one exercise far outweigh the time, effort, and discomfort required to send out the messages. So LinkedIn outreach templates. So initial connection requests. If you're reaching out to someone, if you're connecting with someone, like you're not just reaching out and messaging them. Sometimes it's good to just reach out to people with a connection request, but you don't want to just send a connection request without a message. What you want to do is maybe type something like the following. So, hi, let's say Bob, I came across your profile while researching the firm and the industry. So researching JP Morgan or investment banking internships. And I really admire your experience in asset management. I hope you don't mind me reaching out as I'm making an active effort to connect with successful people in the industry I aspire to work in. You can get away with this as a student or graduate because you have this pass that industry professionals you're essentially like a child or a kid to them, right? So you can get away with saying stuff like this. If you're a seasoned professional, if you've got 10, 20 years under your belt, it's a bit weird to kind of say this. Although it's not that weird, but basically, because you're a student or graduate, you have a pass and you can get away with these types of messages. So you should maximize the use of them. Look forward to staying in touch. Key thing is keep it short and sweet. Anytime anyone in the industry sees a long message on LinkedIn, chances are they're not going to read it. They ain't got time. They're busy. They've got things to do. So you want to make it easy for them to say yes. And so you keep it short. PS, feel free to use me for any administrative, research or other work related tasks. Oftentimes, they're never going to take you up on this, but oftentimes, these people are busy. They might have things that they're trying to do on the side. If you offer your service for free, if you offer to help, be a helping hand, whether it's a research assignment, whatever it is, you can save them time. You get in their good books, you build that relationship. Offering is better than not offering. It just shows, okay, out of all the candidates or individuals that reached out to this person, you stand out because you said you're willing to go above and beyond and do something for them, as opposed to the other candidates. So that's that. All right, so that's initial connection request. Warm outreach. So if you have a mutual connection or event in common, so if you both know someone or you went to an event, hi, I recently attended, and then you mentioned the event where John, who's a mutual connection, spoke about topic X, and it made me curious to learn more about your business or investment banking or whatever it is. I saw your impressive background and thought I'd reach impressive background. You want to butter them up a bit. You don't want to overdo it. But you want to, if you find it impressive, be honest, be transparent, let them know how you feel. And thought I'd reach out as I'm making an active effort to connect with successful people in the industry. There's another compliment. Successful people in the industry I aspire to work in. I hope that's okay. Look forward to staying in touch. Same PS, feel free to use me for any administrative, research or other work related tasks. Post connection. So after you send the connection, so after you send this and then they accept, then what do you do next? You don't just accept the request and that's it. You have to kind of build on that relationship. So this is the soft approach before asking for a call. Hey or hi, thanks for connecting. I've been learning more about, so you need to do some work in the background as well. It's, you get out what you put in. So I've been learning more about the world of asset management and would love to hear about your own journey from PIMCO to BlackRock. If you ever have time, I'd appreciate any insights you might have on, and then mention a specific topic or something that interests you or what you're seeking advice on. Happy to keep the conversation on LinkedIn or jump on a 15-minute call whenever works well for you. So by offering that, you're basically giving them two options. You always want to make the yes easy. So you are saying to them, look, we can keep it on LinkedIn if that's what you prefer, or we can jump on a quick 15-minute call, get it over and done with. But I completely understand if you're busy. So you're showing an appreciation for their time. You're respectful of their time. You understand they're busy. They've got things to do. Either way, thanks for your time, and do let me know if I can assist with any research or time-consuming tasks at all. This is just good. You're just building goodwill. You're telling them I'm willing to work for this. I don't want to just take. A lot of students and graduates and candidates, they reach out with a very entitled approach, and it just is a turn off. It's like, yo, I'm not even going to respond to you because you think I owe you something. Get out of my inbox now. That kind of thing. So yeah, thanks and have a great day, weekend. Short and simple, to the point. Next, direct but respectful request for a short chat. All right. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I'm currently exploring opportunities in sales and trading at Goldman Sachs and was really impressed by your journey at Goldman Sachs. If you have 15 minutes, I'd love to hear any insights you might have about your role and the team. Of course, I understand you have a busy schedule, so no worries at all if you're unavailable. You don't need to speak with the Queen's English. It doesn't need to be extremely formal. Keep it not too informal, don't include slang and you're talking to your friends on WhatsApp with spelling mistake words and stuff like that. But keep it relaxed tone, because at the end of the day, the person reading it is a human. You want to reach out to people just a few years ahead of you because they're more likely to respond and you'll be more relatable to them. So keep that in mind. Wishing you all the best and look forward to staying in touch. Complimenting their work and asking for advice. So, hi, John, I've been following your work at Morgan Stanley within sales and trading and found your recent XYZ post, project or article really insightful. Yeah, reach out to people who you've seen do blogs or posts or articles or interviews, YouTube, social media for the firm, whatever it is. People who have been highlighted, reach out to them, and then you can refer their piece of work on that you saw online as a touch point. As someone keen on breaking into the industry or division, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the skills and experiences that helped you succeed. So you're making it about them. It's a lot easier to talk about yourself as opposed to something else. So you're saying skills and experience that helped you, the person, succeed. If you ever have a few minutes to share some advice, I'd truly appreciate it. Happy to keep the conversation on LinkedIn or jump on a 15-minute call whenever it works well for you. The reason we say 15-minute, it's never going to be 15 minutes. It's always going to be at least 30 minutes. But it shows you're respectful of their time, you're considerate, you're being respectful and considerate, which it makes it harder for them to say no to. Otherwise, I'll keep learning from your posts and insights. Let's say this is someone who posts regularly on LinkedIn, then you can put that. Otherwise, you don't need to. Or you can write, otherwise, I'll keep learning and carrying out my own research, or carrying out research. Thanks for your time either way. Always be thankful, be respectful. All right, reaching out after a webinar panel discussion. Hi, I really enjoyed your insights during so-and-so panel event. Where were we? All right, so hi, I really enjoyed your insights during so-and-so webinar panel event on a specific topic, ESG, whatever it is. Your perspective on XYZ resonated with me, and I'd love to stay connected and continue learning from your experience. If you're going to use this, whatever you include in the specific topic or the key takeaway, make sure you can talk about it at length. You don't want to lie and then get caught out and then realize you're wasting their time. You want to actually focus on things that you're genuinely interested in, because otherwise you'll just get found out. Thanks again. Keeping like all of this, it sounds straightforward and easy, but it takes a lot of work. So my advice to you is carve out some time every single day, every single week. Dedicate at least 5 to 10 hours on your career search, on, applications, networking, outreach, and learning, developing your knowledge, because that's the only way. The ones that get the offers are kind of like, they know their stuff on the different divisions or the division that they want to go into. And so when it comes to doing this type of networking, they find it easy to talk to the people in the industry because they've been putting the reps in, putting the works in behind the scene. You want to get to that stage. It's not impossible. Anyone can do it. It just takes a bit of time. And it's all about getting the reps in, getting that repetition, doing the thing, learning the thing, so on and so forth. All right. So a follow-up after no response. So you've messaged someone, they haven't replied. How'd you go about it? Hi, I just wanted to follow up on my previous message. I know you're busy, but I'd still love to hear any thoughts you might have about XYZ. If a quick chat isn't feasible, no worries at all. I appreciate your time either way and look forward to staying connected. Simple. They don't owe you nothing, so keep it classy. All right, email outreach templates. If you're dropping an email to someone who you haven't met, then go with the following. Hi, I hope you're doing well and apologies for reaching out to you like this. So you're being respectful and addressing the awkwardness immediately. I'm currently studying XYZ at whatever uni, or tell them a bit about your background. And I'm highly interested in XYZ firm or division. I came across your profile and was really impressed by your journey. If you have 15 minutes in the next few weeks, I'd love to ask a few questions and learn from your experience. I'm extremely flexible and can work around your busy schedule. It's very important. Making it about them, prioritizing them, saying you're flexible. I'm going to, if you give me a time and date that works for you, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure I'm there. I won't change it. Looking forward to hearing from you. Best, and then your name. Follow-up email if you haven't got a response. So following up on my previous email. Hi, I just wanted to follow up on my previous email. As an industry professional, I appreciate how busy you must be and totally understand if you can't make the time. In case it's worth mentioning again, I'd still love the opportunity to learn from your experience at Morgan Stanley or whichever firm. If you're available for a short chat, I'd greatly appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing from you. Oftentimes people are busy. They just don't see the message. So if you don't hear back from them, don't be disheartened. They might have just missed it. They might get tons of messages. They might have seen it, but told themselves, I'll get back to it later. So it's always worth a follow-up. All right. So when you reach out to people, you don't want to just have one conversation and that's it. That's not relationship building. That's not networking. That's not nurturing a relationship such that you can both benefit from it over the course of time. What you want to do is have a bit more of a structured approach. So this is where my 12-week relationship building plan comes in. Week 1, you want to focus on getting an initial introduction and a first call. So the goal of this is going to be to establish rapport. Like, if you connect with someone, you chat with them and you feel like, we don't click. There's no vibe here. I don't relate to them. They don't relate to me. It's being a bit forced. That's fine. You don't need to pursue it. However, if you feel there's a good vibe, if you feel like, okay, this person, I'm learning a lot from them, I can be their mentee, they can help me, I can help them, whatever, then establish rapport, express interest about their career, about the industry, whatever it is, and then ask about their career journey. So key questions you're going to want to ask. So what inspired you to join the firm that you're at? What does a typical day look like in your role? what advice do you have for someone looking to break into the industry? And as a next step, after the call or meeting or whatever it is that however you connected with them, send a thank you email summarizing the key takeaways. This is additional, you don't really need to, but you can if you want to. Keeping a track of everything you talk about is actually very useful, because when it comes to the next call, it's always nice to be like, oh, let me go back to the call notes from the first one to see what I spoke about, to remember what I spoke about. That's always good to do. All right, weeks 2 to 4. So after you have your initial conversation, make sure there's a few things that you need to go away and do, whether it's working on your CV, learning about a certain area of the business, whatever it is. There might have been some takeaways, like you might ask them on the first call, what would you advise me to do for this, that and the other. Make sure you go away and you actually do those things, and you can surprise them by showing them how much you've done. Ideally, it's going to be exceptional and it's going to be a lot. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the line, you drop them a message to update them. So keep the relationship warm without being overly pushy. Understand that they're doing a full-time job. In the world of finance, the hours are probably not 9 to 5. They're probably working, 10 to 12 plus hours a day. So be conscious of that. People do not respond immediately. Some people take days to respond. So don't get pushy. Don't think, why is this? A lot of students and graduates come to me. They're like, oh, I messaged this person. It's been a day. They haven't got back to me. Sometimes people take 4 or 5 plus days. It's all right. Don't take it personally. People are busy. Outside of work, they have their own personal lives, family, etc. So you are not the priority in their life. I'm sorry to let you know. But yeah, just follow up and be patient. Engage with their LinkedIn if they post. Share an interesting industry article and ask for their opinion. Make sure you have an opinion as well. Ask a follow-up question about something they mentioned in their first call. You're basically actively building this relationship. Now, after 2 to 4 weeks or so, between 5 weeks, so after a month or so, between weeks 5 and 8, you want to try and get a second meeting with them, another catch up. So the goal of this is going to be to dive deeper into technical aspects of the role or division or firm specific insights. So you want to learn more about the firm. They might have an open application that you're submitting. You might want to get them to run through or look through your application, CV, cover letter, etc. You can ask them, is it okay if I name drop you in my cover letter, so on and so forth. You can talk about what are some challenges in their role. What skills do you think are most critical for success at this firm? Do you recommend any resources or ways to improve my candidacy? You can also ask them, can you point me in the direction of someone who specializes in XYZ? Because they're going to have an extensive network. Like, they work in the industry. They know people who might be better suited to help you than they are if you're interested in a particular area. So make sure you use that. Ask if they know anyone else in the firm or division you should speak with. Hopefully by then you've got, you're both like good, like you've got a good connection with them, and they'll be open to recommend you to people. If the connection isn't there, then you'll know by then. And then weeks 9 to 12, strengthen the connection. So position yourself for potential referrals. Share your progress. Make sure you want them to think, all right, this student or graduate who's reaching out to me, they get stuff done. Like when I tell them to do something, they do it. They don't just do it. They do it to a high standard, and they do it ahead of time. So this goes back to, you want to be action oriented. You want to focus on execution. And if you do that, you're going to impress them naturally. I took your advice and worked on X, and it really helped. Express interest in upcoming roles and ask for guidance on the process. If comfortable, ask about referrals. Do you think I'd be a strong candidate for this? If they refer you, this is more for the graduates. Like so most companies or all companies have a referral fee. So for example, if an employee refers someone for a role and that person gets the role, then the employee gets a couple £1,000 bonus. So there's an incentive there. And so ask them, if you see a role, ask them if they think you're suitable for it, and ask them, are they open to referring you to any positions? Keep them updated on your application progress. Always be open and transparent. The more, I don't want to say vulnerable, but the more open and transparent you are with people, the more likely they are going to be the same with you. There's a study I saw, I read up, and I saw a video not long ago. It said the minute people they open up and they're a bit more transparent and somewhat vulnerable to people, that's the moment relationships actually form a stronger bond. So do with that information what you want, but just be open, honest, be yourself. But you need to read the room. You need to read the person. If you think they're going to be receptive, by then they should be. You should have a good gauge of, all right, this person and I kind of click. you know, everything's going well. If there's no connection, if there's no relatability, then probably avoid, you know, oversharing. But yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, questions. Where we at? Almost there. Questions and goals for each interaction. So you can use ChatGPT to come up with question ideas if you don't know what to ask. But my advice is always follow your curiosity. Like naturally, if you're interested in a division, a business, a sector, an industry, you're going to have questions. At the student, at the graduate level, there are no stupid questions. You should really and truly just be pursuing your curiosity. What does this person do? And by the way, don't ask silly questions. There are no silly questions, but there are sometimes. If you can Google the answer to a question and find the response in a minute, then I wouldn't waste time asking that in a catch-up. So you want to ask person and firm specific questions. You don't want to ask questions that can be answered easily by doing some research online. Having said that, nowadays that most things can be answered online with a quick ChatGPT search. So take that with a pinch of salt. All right, key questions worth asking in informational interviews. So can you share your journey, how you broke into the firm, or how did you end up in this division or this role? What skills do you believe helped you secure your role? How would you recommend someone prepare? Like, what skills do you believe helped you specifically secure your role? You can't Google that. You'll get a generic answer, but this is specific about the person. So the more specific the question, the more specific or the more better the answer, or the more better the question. Similarly, in cover letters, for example, the more specific your points about why you're interested in the firm, why the division, the more specific it is, the better it is. So keep that in mind. How would you recommend someone prepare for the recruitment process? This is bog standard. Have a high. You could say I believe I've got a solid CV, solid cover letter. I've done X, Y, and Z. How else would you recommend someone prepare for the recruitment process? What trends do you see shaping the industry right now? Commercial awareness. Whenever you're asking a question, make sure you've got opinions and thoughts to back it up. If you were in my position, what steps would you take to stand out? And then goals for each interaction. Build rapport and learn about their experience. First meeting. Second meeting, gain insights into the firm and culture. Technical skills. After you realize what technical skills they've mentioned and you need to do, maybe go away, do a paid course, or you can find tons of stuff on YouTube and develop those technical skills. Come back to the third meeting and say, yo, I've done this, this, and this. I found this interesting. I found this really hard. Whatever. So it gives you, the more you do, the more talking points you have, the more stuff you have to talk about. I used to go to catch-ups and stuff and be like, I used to count the clock because initially I didn't know what to talk about or have much to talk about. When I went with an agenda and I had stuff to talk about and I've done stuff outside and I brought that to the meeting to talk about, the time flew by. 30 minutes, 1 hour flew by. So creating an agenda makes it a lot easier. Third meeting, understand the application process and express interest in the roles. And then final follow-up, position for a potential referral or recommendation. And then obviously after that, reach out, stay in touch every 2 months or whenever you think is reasonable. You don't want to be too needy or be too in their face, but just keep them posted on your career, because at the end of the day, you're going to break into the industry, you're going to climb, you're going to be successful, and they probably feel that. That's why they're helping you out, because they know this person has potential. And so, eventually their career is going to go up and then flatline. Then you're going to be on the up and you're going to be a good connection for them to have. So it kind of works both ways. Don't underestimate your ability to help them as well, build their network. Because you're going to have connections that you can probably put them in touch with as well. They might be in the middle of a career move, or they might be exploring their options. So always think, how can I help this person? Is there anything I can do? If they're interested in public speaking or doing things, you might be able to get them to do a talk at your university. You might be able to put them in touch with someone that is of interest to them. That will go a long way, so make sure you do that. How to get the next meeting and maintain engagement. So always have a follow-up in mind. So I mentioned a bit of this earlier, but always, think at the end of the meeting, what's the next? How am I going to get the next meeting? Sometimes it helps to just put a date in the calendar on that call. Say, should we put a date in the calendar for the next call? And then you put a date in the calendar 1 or 2 months from the call you're having. Always have a follow-up. Would it be all right if I reached out in a few weeks to update you on my progress? So this is assuming you just had the first meeting. I'll work on XYZ and let you know how it goes. Would you be open to connecting me with someone else who might offer insights on this specific topic? Create a natural reason to stay in touch. So send updates on progress. It could be a short email, just updating them on your progress. Oh, I've applied to 10 firms over the last week. I got rejected from 3. I've had 7, or I've got rejected from 7. I've had 3 higher views. This is how it went. Just update them. You might think they couldn't give a toss about it, but doing that, like, people like to know they're helping others. And if you can show that their advice and their time being given to you is helping you, they'll appreciate it. And if it's not helping, or I say if you're not seeing success, then you can always still let them know, and then they might help you even more. You never know. But what you do know is if you keep everything to yourself and you don't put yourself outside of your comfort zone and connect and reach out to these people, you're going to stay where you are. There's other students less capable than you who are networking and getting further than you only because they're putting in the work. So yeah, congratulate them on promotions. You might see them get promoted or work on join a new firm or new role on LinkedIn. Congratulate them. Share industry news that's relevant to their work, and ask about their thoughts on recent trends in the industry, only if you're genuinely interested. Stay commercially aware, that way you are more impressive and relevant and you can have more topical discussions. And commercial awareness is actually underrated, but it's very important. The whole industry is impacted by the news, geopolitical news, markets news. Anything and everything going on in the world impacts all businesses in finance. So you need to kind of stay on top of that. Try and read things that interest you, and then ask yourself, how does this impact the clients, the firm, the division, the roles, the people in a certain business or in the business you're interested in. All right. How to send 100 LinkedIn messages on a free account. So first and foremost, you want to maximize your first degree connections. So people that are connected with you. Because when you have connections, I've got 30,000 connections on LinkedIn. I've got about 60,000 followers. You max out connections at 30,000. But essentially, I could go into my LinkedIn and I've got connections across all seniorities, across many industries, mostly finance and banking, but across most firms. So it's good. I can message them unlimited. Because they are first degree connections, I could just message them whenever I want. You need to increase the number of connections you have in your first degree of connections. And so connect first and then message later. Obviously send out connection requests, customize it, include a message, by like the ones we mentioned earlier. You can scroll up. This guide is linked in the video description, so you can access it. Once someone accepts your connection request, you can message them unlimited times for free. Focus on connecting with 20 to 30 new people per week to build a pipeline of potential conversations. Target people who are 1 or 2 years ahead of you. You can reach out to people more senior, but just expect a lower response rate. Follow up. Also, increase the likelihood of responses by connecting or reaching out to people who have either some sort of affiliation with a group or community or project or sport that you do, or there's a mutual connection or lots of mutual connections, or someone that resonates with you. So someone that went to the same university as you go to, or someone who is part of the same, I don't know, society. Or like, I'm Bengali. If I reached out to someone Bengali, they might be like, oh, they might see me as their younger self, or I might see myself in someone that reaches out to me who went to Queen Mary. And if they're Bengali, I'll be like, he's Bengali guy from, council estate. That reminds me of me. Let me help him out. So yeah, small touch points. If you can find the touch point, the more touch points you can find, the more likelihood you are to get a response. Similarly, when you're applying to firms, the more touch points you can have, the more likely you are to impress in interviews and break in. What do I mean by touch points? If you've done a spring week with them, if you've done an internship, if you've attended insight events, if you've networked with an associate, an analyst, a director, the more touch points you can have with a firm, the more you can talk about and the more impressive you become to that firm in interviews. All right, where was I? Follow up immediately after connection with a message to keep the conversation warm, and then try and get a call, and then go from there. Best practice: instead of cold messaging non-connections, first send a connection request with a brief intro. Once they accept, send a follow-up without using your limited emails. Okay, so, and then you've got an example which we've kind of read up above. Use LinkedIn groups to message people for free. If you and your target person are in the same LinkedIn group, you can message them directly without using in-mail limits. So everyone's in-mails are limited, but there's a way to get around that. Join industry-specific groups, finance, banking, sales and trading, whatever it is, and then see which members are in there, and then you'll be able to message them. Once inside the group, find their profile, click message, and send a free message. Best practice. Before messaging, engage in the group. Yeah, try and contribute something. Try and be of value. People will appreciate that more. Hi, John. I saw your post in this group and really liked your perspective on this topic. I'd love to connect and learn more about your role at Bank of America. Looking forward to your thoughts. Yeah, short and sweet, simple. All right, message event attendees for free. So if someone attends the same LinkedIn event as you, you can message them for free without being connected. Search for finance-related events, click attend, and then go to the attendee list to send messages. Best practice. Hi, I saw we're both attending this event. Excited to learn more about the topic. Would love to connect and exchange insights, learn from your journey or experience. Engage with their content. If someone's posting lots, this is more senior people. A lot of directors, managing directors are trying to build their brands on LinkedIn, or oftentimes they're sharing stuff like research, like reports, research, presentations, awards, etc. Engage, comment, and then when you do reach out to them eventually, they'll know you and your face and your name from the comments. So that's that. This makes your name familiar, increasing the chance they accept your connection request. Once they engage back, also you'll be surprised, a lot of senior folk in the industry, they feel a bit out of touch in this current world, because the younger generations are the masters of LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, social media, broadly speaking. They probably have kids and stuff, so they feel a bit disconnected with their kids because they're not as savvy with the tech that's out there in social media. If you're a student right now, you're 18, 19, you're a whiz, so they have a lot to learn from you. And a lot of these people want to learn more about the tech, like they're open-minded, they want to learn more about tech, social media, what the young person is all about these days. So you do bring something to the table, so keep that in mind. Once they engage back, send a connection request and message immediately after acceptance. And then you got the messages. Almost done. Oh, long video. All right, ask for email conversations instead. If someone accepts your request but doesn't respond to a message, suggest moving the conversation to email. Some people prefer email. I don't check my LinkedIn DMs as much as I should, but I check my emails every single day. Most professionals are the same. Yeah. You can write, hi, I'd love to continue this conversation. Would you be open to sharing your email? Happy to follow up there, or we can jump on a quick call whenever you're free. If you want to give more flexibility, say whenever you're free over the coming weeks. So that way it doesn't put pressure on doing a call in the next 7 days. So, weekly action plan to reach out to 100 plus people on LinkedIn. Send out 20 plus new connection requests. Try and engage with 5 posts from target professionals to warm them up. Join 2 to 3 LinkedIn groups. Message 5 people from these groups. And search for upcoming finance networking events. This isn't done much by students and graduates. A lot of people might do this. Even this, they don't do it. But it's a numbers game. The more you do, you're basically taking more shots on goal. Yeah, you take more shots on goal, you're going to score more goals. Simple. And then message 10 event attendees and do the following. So, never run out of outreach opportunities. Even with a free LinkedIn account, you can send 100 plus messages per month. So really and truly, you don't have an excuse not to reach out to people. And yeah, that is, there's more. Final thoughts. That is pretty much the end of it. Networking is a long-term game that requires consistency, authenticity, and strategy. By using the outreach templates, follow the 12-week plan, and maintaining thoughtful engagement, you can build relationships that open doors to career-changing opportunities. One final tip. This is important. When you're doing catch-ups, you don't want to try and make yourself sound interesting. What you want to be is interested over interesting. What does this mean? Try not to go into conversations and catch-ups with the intention of being interesting, i.e. talking about yourself and how great you are. The reason, you're reaching out to them, they don't care about you so much. You're trying to learn about them. They don't owe you nothing. So, rather, try to be interested and focus all of your attention on the other person. This is an underrated social skill that not many people keep in mind when networking or meeting new people. Focus on being interested as opposed to interesting. Basic example. You're a student, uni, college, graduate, whatever. Imagine a school student reached out to you to ask you about advice on which university to go to or how to break into a top university. And then you jump on a call with them and they just talk about themselves, how they're head boy, head girl, how amazing they are, their hobbies, so on and so forth. And they don't really leave any time for you to tell them about your journey and advice that you have for them. You're probably not going to want to help them because they've just made it all about themselves. They were not interested in what you had to say. They were just trying to come across interesting. So you don't want to be that person when you're doing catch-ups and networking with industry professionals. If you made it to the end, this guide is going to be available in the video description. Check it out. It's free for you to access, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.